Well, hey there, Nielsen families. I have asked you to ask me questions regarding Steven Universe, and we're going to get it done. I have Lindsay all set with the laptop.
Hello!
I have, let's see, Tom Servo here and Tony Tiny Floating Whale.
Ooh.
Both made by Lindsay, by the way. This questionnaire is brought to you by me and Lindsay. We both are artists. I make the Red Knight comic book. You can buy the comic at the links below and support it on my Patreon if you want me to help make more. Also, Lindsay has a Patreon too. You can help her make more cool stuff like this. She can also do commissions, and of course she has a wide range of original work that is just fantastic. All right, let's get going. Lindsay, give me my first question.
First question. This is a long one.
Mm-hmm.
Considering all the plot threads that seem to be completed at this point, Connie's resolution with her mother, Peridot now being involved with the crystal gems, knowledge of the gems' past coming to light, resolutions with side character subplots, do you think that Steven Universe is approaching its series end? And if not, what are your ideas on how the series may continue after these current arcs?
All right. No. Next question. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't think the show is nearing its end. We actually have official word that there is a third season. We're already just into the second season. I think we're 18 episodes in, and we have, I think, 50, I forgot how many episodes of this season, but I don't even think we're halfway through the second season. We have a third one on the way. So at the moment, I think, let's see, we at least have another, I don't know, a year or two, depending how quick they do these shows out. I mean, season 1 lasted, I think, almost 2 years. So we'll see how long it is. I do understand, I've heard several times, I think I've even heard Rebecca Sugar mention in interviews, she does have a definite ending in mind for the show, but it's kind of fluid because, hey, who knows how long the show might last. Maybe they might just get the 3 seasons and have to finish it up, or it may continue to be successful and they'll get 4, 5, 6, and she'll have to figure out where to place that ending. So I think at the moment we're cool. I actually like the fact that she does have an ending in mind, rather than the opposite, which is we just keep making the show over and over again, like SpongeBob. They're still making SpongeBob episodes. I haven't really sat down and really watched and enjoyed a SpongeBob episode in a long time. So it's kind of nice that she has an idea of going out, instead of just completely just going and going and going. All right, I think that's my thoughts on that one. Let's go.
What do you think of the rose quartz is pink diamond theory? Also, do you think she might have created the gem clusters?
That's good. Those are both good questions. I am leaning more and more towards the rose was pink diamond and maybe advocated that position when she became rose quartz, or when she stood up against the Diamond Authority. And we're seeing more and more remarkably subtle evidence providing that. The more modern gem stuff has 3 diamonds on it without the pink, and the older stuff, like the arena, has 4 with the pink diamond. So that makes a lot of sense. Also, might I add, from the Space Race episode, Pearl's space outfit, which has a pink diamond on it, which also makes sense. So yeah, I think there's a lot of validity to that. The second half was, could she have created the gem clusters? I think, let's see, I definitely think, if we're talking about the mutated gem fusion clusters, no, I don't think she did. I think, although that would be horrifying if she did, I think she was responsible for burying them. I don't think she was aware of what was done to them. If you're talking about the fusion, the cluster that Peridot's so scared about, I mean, we don't have really any information on that, so maybe not. But we'll see. It looks like the next couple episodes of the show are going to be dealing with Peridot, so hopefully maybe we'll get some information. We'll see.
What do you think of Pewee? What else would you like to see on the show Steven Universe? I love your channel. Greetings from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. Please excuse my bad English.
Oh, that's okay. Please excuse our bad English here in America. And greetings from Norfolk. Thanks for watching. The Pewee thing is hilarious. For those of you who know, if those of you who have been watching my channel for a while, you know I'm a huge Mystery Science Theater fan. I mean, Tom Servo here is in every one of my videos. Joel Hodgson, the voice of Mayor Dewey, is the creator of Mystery Science Theater, the host of the first 5 years, and creator of Tom Servo. I love the fact that he's in the show, and him having a crush on Pearl, who is my favorite character in the show, is absolutely hilarious to me. Will that go anywhere? I don't think so. Pearl doesn't seem to be at all interested in him, and we do see she has maybe interest in other characters. I doubt she would ever hook up with a human. Although I will say, if there's any human male character she would be interested in, he would actually make sense, because they do have their self-esteem issues. They do have feelings of authority and taking care of people. They do have those kind of similarities in mind, so that actually would not be that insane. But to be honest, I don't think they would hook up. However, with that said, but by the way, I don't think I'd want them to hook up. But who knows how the series progresses. I be honest, I'm rooting for Pearl. Sometimes I root for her to just find herself first before she makes any kind of other decisions like that. Or Garnet or Lapis, actually. But the fact that he crushes on her and is hitting on her is endlessly funny to me, and I would love to see that continue, actually. And even just subtle ways, or him just biting the bullet and asking her out. I mean, all this, to be honest, all that stuff would lend itself to some really good humor, I think. So we'll see how much farther it goes. But as far as them actually being a permanent couple, I don't think that's a thing, no. Anyway, what's the next question?
Do you feel as if Pearl has lost a lot of her likability?
Oh yeah, due to
let's see, the rest of the after Rose's scabbard and cry for help, Pearl has been really losing me, and she became one of my least favorite characters really fast.
Now, let's see. I've heard there are. Here's the thing. I follow Tumblr, and when I get obsessed about a show, I tend to look up fandoms and Tumblrs in love with the show. So I mean, I check the Tumblr actually every day. So I do notice there are portions of fans who do not like Pearl, and actually, that's not since Rose the Scabbard. That's kind of ever since the beginning, because I've been following the show pretty closely, at least on Tumblr, since So Many Birthdays, actually. And at first, there were a portion of fans who didn't like the character because they felt like she was getting too much attention in the first 20-some episodes, where they were ignoring Amethyst and Garnet. And I remember even people nicknaming her Pet Pearl of the creators and stuff like that. It was really bitchy. And now that we've gotten more attention to the other characters, now they've actually been spreading out, I think these people have decided to find they haven't like settled. They've actually like evolved their hatred, like Rose, the behavior of Rose's Scabbard and Sworn to the Sword, or reasons. Or my personal favorite is, since she had a crush on Rose, maybe had a crush on Rose. That might have actually been a consensual relationship. But people have like talked about how that was abusive towards Rose. It's like, I don't really see that. I mean, if anything, you could actually make a case that maybe if Rose knew about her crush and did nothing and flaunted her relationships in front of her, that's actually more abusive. But this is all we have. This is all the information we have. So a lot of this stuff is a lot of speculation, headcanon, and what else you call it? Something else. It kind of frustrates me a little bit, because Steven Universe obviously is a show created by people who want to put it out there about love and understanding, and being understanding about people's imperfections, and people kind of learning from their problems and issues and moving on, even if they have emotional problems. And, stuff doesn't get solved in a nice, tidy, situation, and that's it. People have emotional issues. If, in real life, they can be chemical and stuff like that, or real serious development over time. With that said, there's some fans who kind of don't see it that way, and with a character like Pearl, they'll kind of damn her for mistakes she will make, and not kind of forgive her after even she learns the mistakes she makes in the episodes, or kind of develops. We're watching a character develop over time, like the flashback episodes. She's a fairly different person in those episodes than she is in the present day. She's feuding with Greg, and now she's like raising Steven with Greg in the present. So it's kind of a little unfair to kind of like judge a character for those things. And we're maybe, I don't know, sometimes I'm talking specifically about cartoons, maybe we're very used to seeing a character with a flaw, and that flaw turning them into a villain. Kind of the Bruce Timm animated, method of characters. Like they have one flaw and it turns them into Mad Hatter or something like that. Or Poison Ivy. And it seems to apply to everyone except for Batman, who has tons of flaws, and we always seem to forgive him because he's a badass and he's awesome. But that doesn't seem to apply to characters like Pearl. We're watching Pearl kind of learn and develop because she kind of depended all on Rose. And she's been kind of out in the wilderness and just expected to, rise to the occasion without any kind of like handbook or anything like that. And kind of we're watching her learn episode by episode. And I guess, people are just going to dislike a character no matter what, and they're going to pick their own reasons for particular behaviors, which, I don't know, sometimes I can't really, I don't know, there's sometimes where, like, you go to individual issues, like, people think, oh, hey, the reason she didn't help Steven off the cliff ledge and Rose's scabbard was because she was hoping he would die and turn back into Rose. Where do you get that information? You just pull that out of your ass, essentially. Where, as I watch that episode, it's obviously she's very distraught, and given when you pay attention to the character over time, you realize she does kind of freeze when she panics and, like, is emotionally crippled by something. She just shuts down. I've seen that over and over again in the show, and that's how I read that scene. But of course, you read a scene however you want. So it's somewhat frustrating where people will attack this character for having flaws and be very forgiving of other characters, or forgiving of themselves. And I ask you a question that I believe is a particular Bible verse where I don't know, it just reminds me of this Bible verse. Those without sin can bitch about it on Tumblr. Next question, Lindsay.
Next question. Why do you think they created the character Lars? He's the only character I flat out don't like on the show. I know some may say he's supposed to be disliked, but I'm not sure what that adds to the show, since he isn't really supposed to be a villain. I guess he's supposed to... I guess he gives the joke of Steven liking him despite him being the worst human being ever, but he seems to have a lot of screen time just for that gag. What is your opinion on him?
Yeah, he is an asshole. That's true. And there's always characters who are assholes. Like Spider-Man famously had Flash Thompson at first, and J. Jonah Jameson. There are people that are just, you see every day, and maybe don't completely hate, but they're assholes, and that's what you deal with. And Steven's such an optimistic character and always sees the brighter side of everything. Yeah, not everybody he's going to come in contact with is going to be pleasant and super and nice. That's just kind of how it is. And not everyone is evil. Sometimes you just deal with people who are jerks, and that's just how it is. I know I do on a daily basis, and I'm sure you do too. And I'm sure right now you're thinking about that person. Like, God, I have to see that person every day, and they're such a jerk off. But I can't, like, do anything about it. And that's how life is. It is nice that we've seen in some episodes that there is another side to the character, particularly like Island Adventure, and the horror movie night episode where we get to see some other shades of that character. By the way, Island Adventure, I'm totally 100% on his side. I love Sadie, but that was a really shitty thing for her to do, to trap her and him and Steven on an island just for maybe some quiet time. 100% on his side on that episode. So yeah, that's how it is. I think that's why the character exists, to kind of show, you know, look, I mean, the show would be a tad less realistic. I shouldn't say unrealistic. It does have, you know, space rocks, you know, fighting and stuff. The show would be a tad less realistic if everyone was super nice and charming and you know, lovely towards each other. Yeah, that's not a world that, you know, I believe in the crystal gems more than I would believe in that kind of world. So that's kind of what his purpose is. Next question.
All right, this person has 6 questions. You want me to read each one separately and answer, and then the next one?
Sure. I'm sorry. I did not make any stipulations of no multiple questions.
Let's see. If you could be a gem, what kind would you be and why? I would like to know what Lindsay would like to be and why, too.
Okay. I'll answer mine first, and you can answer yours. Let's see. I would probably selfishly choose Emerald, which is my birdstone. It's kind of a green birdstone, I think. And I don't know what kind of power I would have. I didn't look up what Emerald kind of means or anything about it, so I'm not sure what kind of power or weapon I would derive from that. I would like to, hey, anybody out there who watches my videos who can draw, if you want to do a gemstone of me as Emerald, go ahead, knock yourself out. I'll show it on the channel. What about you, Lindsay?
I would like to be Moonstone. It's my very favorite stone. It's sort of a silvery, pearlish purple, and sometimes it's rainbowy, and
that's right. You're.
And look, it's my engagement ring.
That's right.
Pretty.
Moonstone is the engagement ring I gave to Lindsay.
Because it's my favorite stone.
Let's see. That was a nice night. I proposed to Lindsay at Cheesecake Factory.
Yep.
It was a lovely, lovely night.
It was romantic, and we got to eat something tasty too.
That's right. Perfect night. All right. What's the next question?
If they have a flashback to the war they keep referring to, what do you think it would be about?
I would. First off, I hope it would be really action-packed. Frankly, it would be great if it was similar to the first Cartoon Network Clone Wars cartoon that they were doing on Toonami. God, that would be awesome. Second of all, it would probably be about. Oh man, it would probably be about maybe Rose's decision, and how it affects all these characters. And it would be interested to see how the supporting cast would come together and look at the crystal gems as far as who they are. Because Garnet is 2 smaller gems, Ruby and Sapphire, who love each other and want to be permanently fused as Garnet, but that's looked down upon on their home world, and maybe probably illegal or something like that. So they want to live free, and Pearl, it's beginning to look like she is maybe of a slave race, or at the very least a subservient race. So she would be free here. And then of course Amethyst, who is a creation of this gem world's kind of like harsh evil towards other planets, frankly. So she's collected a group of outsiders, people who would probably be looked down upon in their home world. That might be a big theme of the story of her, collecting, and maybe the crystal gems who did not survive. Maybe they might have similar stories or something like that. Might be a mixture of motivations. that I think would be an interesting. It would be interesting as a character arc to see Rose kind of like go from maybe somebody who was apathetic towards the Gem Homeworld's actions to someone who sees the wrongs and kind of discovers through her encounters with humanity. I think that would be that would be a nice kind of story arc for it, sandwiched between badass, super awesome battles. At least that's what I would love to see.
Let's see. Next question. What gem would you most like to see appear on the show in the future? Ones that haven't been mentioned or bubbled, or ones that have been mentioned?
The one that's bubbled in Lion, I'm very, very curious about, which is the name by
Bismuth.
Bismuth. Very much want to see what that story is about. I like how we've just seen it, and that's it. No mention. Nobody's mentioned Bismuth. Steven hasn't asked about it. There's been no references. We've just seen it, and it looks pretty prominent. So I'm curious of why. I mean, it's among Rose's important stuff, so I'm sure it's pretty important. Outside of that, just Moonstone, just stones I've heard of. Moonstone would be an awesome. I've seen Sophie Campbell's gemsona of a moonstone, and you just mentioned Moonstone. I love, and also that's just a cool name. I mean, you could do something really awesome with that. So those are my two choices.
We're gonna have to make this a two-parter.
Okay, sure. We're going to have to do this as a two-parter because I got a lot of questions and a lot of opinions. So this is the end of part 1. So I'll see you in part 2. Don't forget to support me and Lindsay on Patreon. Push the button, Lindsay.